Hi everyone. So if you're working with Kubernetes or cloud, load balancer and ingress, these are the terms which you must have heard. But if the concept is not clear, you will mess up if the question is asked in the interview that when do you use load balancer, when do you use ingress, and what are the differences between the two, you'll mess up. So in this video, we will target that what are the key differences between the two, when to use what, and how the traffic flows. So I hope by the end of the video, the difference between the two and at what layer does it work, all these confusion will be gone. So without further ado, let's go. So load balancer distribute incoming traffic across multiple backend targets to improve availability, scalability, and fault tolerance. It works at layer 4, TCP UDP network load balancer, and layer 7, HTTP HTTPS application load balancer. So, when the user requests, the load balancer will just distribute the traffic to whatever backend or backend targets are available, or if the backend is healthy, it will distribute the traffic to that particular backend. So load balancer doesn't route the traffic. Like if suppose the user is requesting for specific service, load balancer will not do the routing to the specific service. It will just check that if the backend target, whatever is configured, it is healthy, it will accordingly distribute the traffic. So that is what the load balancer does. And there are two load balancers which work at layer 4 and one at layer 7. Okay. So load balancer knows nothing about URL, it just forwards the traffic, and health check is decided when backend is alive. So there are many questions on that. If the application is if our load balancer is there and backend is healthy, then why the traffic is not being routed properly. So there can be questions on it, but basically you should understand the concept that load balancer just forward the traffic. It has nothing to do about URLs. If the backend which is configured behind the load balancer, it is healthy, it's alive, it is accepting the traffic, it will distribute the traffic accordingly so that there are multiple requests. So which request should go at which backend, and there is not an accumulation of requests on particular backend. Okay, so they are cloud managed: AWS ELB, Azure LB, GCP LB. Now, Kubernetes example, when we are configuring a load balancer, we generally configure it like this. For the specific service, we configure one load balancer. So if there are multiple services, there will be multiple load balancers. This is also one point, that for each service we have to create one load balancer. Now, what is Ingress? So, Ingress is Kubernetes native HTTP routing layer. So, it comes with Kubernetes, and it manages external HTTP's access, and it routes the traffic based on rules. Like if we define rule that if particular URL is hit, if a root URL is hit, or if /login URL is hit, then where should the traffic go, at which service it should go, or at which pod it should go, at which backend it should go. If you have not seen my Nginx video, just watch it. I have explained very clearly how routing happens, and Nginx one of the Ingress controller. Okay, so it works on top of load balancer, means Ingress is not a load balancer by itself, but it requires load balancer. Why? Because if we have to expose any application to the outside world, we need load balancer. Ingress cannot do it itself because Ingress is native to Kubernetes. It cannot expose the traffic to the outside world. So one load balancer is needed so that Ingress, whatever traffic is coming, it should go through Ingress, it should go through Nginx or whatever Ingress controller you are using, and then it will route the traffic accordingly. Whatever URL is being requested, it will route the traffic to that particular service. So Ingress needs a load balancer. LB exposes the cluster, And Ingress controller does URL routing, host-based routing, SSL termination, rewrites, redirects. Whatever are the features of Nginx, that all Ingress controller does. Okay. Now, when we are configuring Ingress in Kubernetes, it's like networking.kubernetes IOV1, and we define, and then we define the rules even that at if this host is hit, then at what path and what backend service it should go at what port. Okay. So traffic flow comparison is basically there is a client, load balancer, service pod, and Ingress is always working behind load balancer. So the difference is load balancer work on L4, L7, but Ingress work on L7 only, layer 7. URL routing, load balancer doesn't do. Host-based routing, no. But SSL termination is limited in load balancer, and in Ingress it is advanced. Okay. Cost is higher of load balancer. As you can see, for one service one load balancer works. So if there will be multiple services, multiple load balancer are required, but Ingress is not working like that. One Ingress controller can handle multiple services. Okay. So Kubernetes native, it is a service, it's a resource of Kubernetes. Scalability per service, centralized. Okay. Now, real world scenario, where so without Ingress, if we have 10 microservices, so each need public access, then we 10 load balancers will be required. So it is a high cost and hard to manage. With Ingress, just one load balancer, one Ingress controller, and routing handled via routes. Okay, so you can see how much cost is being saved if for each service it doesn't if for each service we are using a load balancer, not an Ingress. So this is how we use load balancer and Ingress both together to handle the situation, and mostly in production this is the structure that we follow. Okay, like for if the URL is set on cart, then at cart service it will go. If it's slash order, then order service it will go. So when to use load balancer only? Use load balancer when non-HTTP traffic is there, or a simple setup, or one service exposed, quick POC, and like because we have to save money. Example like database proxy, game servers, MQTT brokers. Okay. When to use Ingress? Most production system like multiple HTTP services need SSL, auth, routing, cost optimization, central traffic control. Now these are the common myths. That Ingress replaces load balancer? No, Ingress uses a load balancer. Ingress is only for Kubernetes? Yes, that's why it is powerful. Ingress is optional, in production almost mandatory. Now cloud specific mapping, like it is like for AWS a load balancer that we use and Ingress controller that we can use. Basically Nginx is the most common Ingress controller, or traffic, it's the most common Ingress controller that is being used. So I'll give everything in description box for your reference. So that's all. So that's it for today's video. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know views in the comment section. Till then, take care. Bye.